Sha'Carri Richardson, of course, is who we're talking about, who is a track star for the U.S., who tested positive for cannabis at the Olympic trials last month, and she was a gold medal contender. She won the 100-meter in 10.86 seconds. And as the story goes, again, this is it's a rule. Obviously, it's a banned substance. That's the better way to put it. But banned substance. It tested positive for it. So with that, not eligible to run for the U.S. in the Olympics. My reaction right away, like, we're still doing this, like, with what we see around the country, especially how more and more states are making it legal. That this is still happening. That's what caught me off guard. This is not about breaking a rule or going against a rule. But I do want to say how it was handled by her is, I think, something we need to talk about. Not what happened, because as she explained, her mother had passed away, and how she passed, her biological mother passed away, and how she found out was through a reporter in an interview, and that affected her. And her way to cope with that feeling and emotions was to smoke. And she handled it so well on the Today Show when she faced the music in a way where she admitted this is why, explained why, but didn't use that as an excuse, and then owned it, saying, I knew what I was doing, and I know I have to, this is what's going to happen. I thought the best line, I'm human, I'm you. I just happen to run a little bit faster. I think the lesson here, Monica, is a very simple one. A lot of times we see with a lot of athletes, a lot of sports executives, I think people in general, when you make a mistake or when you do something like this, especially, I don't even know if it's a mistake when you knowingly do it, is we try to come up with an excuse. We try to skirt accountability and, just create this reason and, it's not my fault, this happened. I thought what a great lesson it was for her to stand up there, nervous as she was on national television, and own it the way she did, and then just say, I'll be back, I'll be better, I'll be able to, I will run for this country, I will do this in the next Olympics, but I was wrong, this is the rule, I know it, and I have to accept it. It sounds simple, accepting fault.
Yep.
We don't see it a lot, though. And I thought it was a great example. And sometimes we just overlook this stuff, but we shouldn't in this case.
There are two things from this scenario that resonated for me. First of all, the level of grace that she showed, the poise.
Poise was a great word, yeah.
Unmatched. And so immediately, Friday, my only thing on Twitter was that she's handled this with much more grace and poise and accountability than most, so everybody else, please shut up. Like, the bottom line is that she did not ask for anyone to make an excuse for her. She's dealing with the consequences. But the flip side of that, Hahn, I totally understand rules are the rules. And while I agree that it is something that the IOC probably needs to look at in terms of what is legal, as pointed out during the Today Show interview, weed is legal in Oregon, where she was. It is something that probably needs to be evaluated by the committee in terms of their rules. It also irked me a little bit because here is this blatantly talented, unapologetic, bold, braggadocious track star who is blowing competition away, who also happens to be a black woman. And yes, the rules are the rules. And I'm not saying that she should be allowed to run in this particular event. But as the Today Show continued to report, there is a scenario in which she could run in the relays. And what I have found in my experience in this country is, yes, the rules are the rules, but the heavy hand of the rules and the grace that is afforded others in terms of opportunities to find a way to make it work are not necessarily afforded to black women. And so I am not getting on whether or not she broke the rules, because she did break the rules. But I would like to see her be able to have an opportunity to run in the relays.
I just don't understand how she's eligible to run in a relay.
Listen,
I guess
this is the reporting.
Because she's suspended, and this would.
I think the test might be for the specific event or something.
Yeah, I guess, but
if there is room,
I don't feel like this is an IOC thing. This is an Olympics.
I
thing.
agree.
Like, it's a banned substance. It was found in her system. It's very, for a lack of a better way to put it, black and white. It's very simple. It's there in print. This is it. This is the rule. I don't feel like we're going to choose who we're going to say can and can't race. This was simply, this was found in your system. It shouldn't be. And she said, I knew that.
Yes, it is simply that. But the caveat...
It's frustrating, of course, because we should have our best there. And the fact that marijuana, that cannabis is something that is becoming more and more accepted around this country is one thing. But as far as Olympics go, it's not. It's
Agreed.
not. And I don't understand how it's a performance-enhancing drug. I don't get that. But okay.
Someone tweeted me the rules, I guess, and a part of it is that they don't want people to hurt themselves if they were inhaling cannabis prior to an event, which I don't necessarily buy. But what I will say is that it just strikes a chord. The rules are the rules. I was a kid that got in plenty of trouble, and the conversation was the rules are the rules. But what I'm saying, the part that I could not help think, I understand the rules are the rules, is here is this bold black woman that's bold. Yes, she messed up, but is she going to be afforded any grace? That's all. That's all I was saying. If there's a way to put her in the relay, put her in the relay because
the
she is that
suspension will be
talented.
up, so that's why she'd be eligible
right.
for that.
So if she doesn't get into the relay, then I'm like, okay, well, what happened?
So you're watching that closely just because, don't you think it's pretty obvious somebody of her speed and talent that you would make sure that you would
It sounds like it should be obvious, but there are so many things in our country that are obvious that don't necessarily go that way.
What do you say to the runner who was in the relay and now has to
Are your speeds better than hers in the relay?
Okay, you're right. It is about competition then, isn't it?
That's the bottom line.
Okay.
I'm not saying that the rules should get changed in 30 minutes or 30 days, whatever the suspension is.
No. This is not about her like we should excuse it. Nobody is saying that.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.